Hi, in this video we're going to find the length of a face diagonal of a prism. Now what I mean by face diagonal is just a diagonal across one of the faces of this 3D shape. So we're trying to find AD, which is this. Now how are we going to do this? Well, can you see that that face diagonal splits the rectangle ACDE into two, and we get this right angle triangle here. So the key with all these 3D Pythagoras problems is to identify a right angle triangle, so we can then use Pythagoras theorem. So what do we know about the lengths on this? We're trying to find the length of AD. We know what CD is because if this is 12 here, that's also 12 because they're just opposite lengths of this rectangle. Now we also need the length of AC here because we know the 12 and we know AC, we could then find AD, right? Now let's look at this right angle triangle on the right here. We can see we've got this right angle triangle and let's just draw it out separately. Right angle triangle, oh sorry, we've got this 9 here and we've got the 8 at the bottom and we're trying to find AC. Well, let's just call it X for the moment. So I'm going to put the X there. And this is the purple triangle on the right. So let's use Pythagoras theorem. Remember how it works. You label the shorter sides as A and B in either order, and the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, as C, which is opposite the right angle. And then remember, Pythagoras theorem is A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So we can substitute in those values. 9 squared plus 8 squared is equal to C squared, X squared. And then what is 9 squared plus 8 squared? Well, that's 81 plus 64, which is 145. And if we square root both sides, x is just the square root of 145. Does that simplify at all? Square root of 145. No, it doesn't. So, okay, x is root 145, and we might as well just leave it as that. You'll see why in a moment. Now, we know two of the sides of this yellow triangle. So let's draw out the yellow triangle. So the yellow triangle, what sides do we know? Well, we know the 12 at the bottom and the other length is root 145. So 12 at the bottom, this is root 145. And we're trying to find the length of AD. Let's call it Y. So Y will be the answer. Again, let's use Pythagoras theorem. This is the two shorter sides are A and B. The longest side, the hypotenuse, is C. Substitute into Pythagoras theorem. So A squared, so root 145 squared, plus B squared, so 12 squared, equals a hypotenuse squared, so Y squared. Now, the reason I left the root 145 as root 145 is because when you square it, it just becomes 145. This squared here cancels out the square root, and you're just left with 145. So we get 145 plus 12 squared, which is 144. And what is that? That's 289, isn't it? It's y squared. And then we just square root both sides. So the square root of 289 is 17. Yeah, it's a square number. So y is 17, and that is the final answer because y is the length of AD. The answer is 17. And we are done.